Hi everyone, this is a explanation video of the 5 cable cross stitch that is in my sock pattern. And I know this is a little bit of an unusual stitch, and so I thought it would be a good idea to explain it with a video. I have some stitch markers here. These are locking stitch markers. These are the type of bulb stitch markers. Many people have these. But you can use locking stitch markers as well. You can do this stitch with a cable needle, but I find it much more convenient to do this with the locking stitch markers. I am at the section where I should do the 5 stitch cable cross, and what I'm going to do is grab one of my stitch markers. And I'll show you once how to do this with 2 stitch markers and once how to do this with 1 stitch marker. I hope this is visible. I'm going to slip the stitch marker off, the stitch off, the first stitch off the left hand needle and just drop it. Then the next 3 stitches I'm going to slip as if to purl to the right needle. I hope that's clear. Grabbing my other stitch marker and dropping it. So we now have 2 stitches dropped and 3 stitches slipped to the right hand needle. I'm now going to slip 3 stitches back and put the most left stitch back on the left hand needle. We're leaving the very first stitch that we dropped, just leaving that for a bit. We are going to knit this stitch, knit the 3 that we slipped earlier. Okay, now comes the fiddly bit. We are going to transfer the first stitch back to the left hand needle. We'll then knit it, transfer it back to the left needle, pull this a little bit tight and knit it again. And the reason I'm knitting it again is so that the stitch that is running across from left to right is not too tight in the pattern. You could do it without knitting it a second time. It's totally fine. I just prefer doing it this way. We'll purl the next stitch, knit the next 5 stitches, purl. Okay, let's do this again. I'm going to show you how to do this with using only 1 of the locking stitch markers. So again, we, as if to purl, slide off the locking stitch, first stitch. So we have this group of 5 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slipping that one off, slipping from left to the right hand needle, the 3 stitches in the middle. Using the same stitch marker, I'm going to slip the last stitch and just letting it hang here. Slip the 3 stitches from the right needle to the left needle, transferring the left stitch to the left hand needle, knitting these 4. So it helps for this part if you have sharper sock needles, but obviously that's very much personal preference. But generally with lace patterns, it's more convenient to have sharper needles. So we still have our first stitch, which is just hanging here, chilling out. We're going to transfer that to the left hand needle, remove this stitch marker, and what I do is just like plop it in the sock because I'm not going to need it for a little bit. I'm only going to use it again in round 7. So knit this stitch, put it back to the left hand needle, make it a little bit tight, knit it again, and then we can continue the sock pattern. Done. So you can see we've crossed these stitches. I'll show you again on the other side. I'll try to do it a little bit more slowly. If you have it by now, this is it. This is the video, but I'm just going to show it if you prefer to see that again real slow. So this is still on row 3, repeating our stitch pattern. So knit 3 together, yarn over, purl, purl, purl. Okay. Grab your stitch marker, slip off the first stitch and let it chill. Slip 3 stitches from left to right. Grab another stitch marker, slip this stitch off the left hand needle and let it chill. Slip these stitches from right to left. Grab the stitch marker with the second stitch and put it back on the left hand needle. Knit, 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 knit. Grabbing the first stitch, putting it on the left hand needle. Knit, transferring it from right to left, knit again. Okay, purl, knit 5, purl. Okay, using 1 stitch marker, knit, let it drop, slip, 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 grab the last stitch, let it drop, slip back, one, 2, 3, 4. First stitch to the left needle, knit, transfer it back to the left needle, make sure it's not too loose, and knit again, and then purl, purl, knit 3 together, yarn over, purl, purl, knit, and that's it. So this was row 3 of the pattern, and you really don't need your stitch marker again until you're on row 7. So what I do is just loop it through somewhere and let it drop and knit until I need it again. And I can take it off and then use it to make the stitch. Really easy, very effective, and yeah, fun to do. Thank you for watching.